So the publication date actually is before that. It's not next year. It's this year, perhaps. We're pushing November, so it's not in November.
So you're an acupuncturist.
Yeah.
Can I go to acupuncture?
Oh, do you? Great. Yeah, acupuncture naturopath. All right, great. So thank you for agreeing to this interview. And I think, as I mentioned, I'm working on a book called Super Brain: Maximize Your Brain Health for Better Life. And so my publisher also wanted me to be sure that it's very practical and to go around and make sure that I covered all the bases and talk to experts in the field. And you are one of the experts, so that's why we're here. So now, how long have you been in the field then?
I've been working with elders for a really long time.
Wow.
Probably since I straight out of college, probably when I was 23.
Oh, is that right? Oh, so that's been the last 5 years at least.
Oh no, I'm I think it's about 17 years.
17 years, wow.
So it's in a lot of different capacities.
Mm-hmm.
I started out, I've worked in assisted living, I've worked in independent living, I've worked in a day program,
Mm-hmm.
I've helped people in their homes.
Wow.
So I've did like home care kinds of things, cooking for people, and passed out medications in assisted living, and then did a little bit of volunteering and working in activities, and then went to graduate school, and then I worked with people who had dementia and Alzheimer's, doing drama therapy with them. So
Wow.
that was what I did in graduate
Interesting.
school. And then after that,
No, this was master's or PhD?
master's in psychology and drama therapy.
Oh, very interesting.
And then I've been at Chaparral House for 6 years, and before that I was in Oakland in assisted living and independent living for about 4.5 years. So
No, that's another
I was
facility.
doing activities for quite some time.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a large, about 150 residents of that.
Wow. Like the
So-
point or something like that. Maybe you can't say
So
the
I've
name.
worked with, it used to be called the Claremont House, and it was sold, and it might have been sold since then.
Oh, I
And
see,
so
all right.
It's on 51st Street.
Across from the big shopping
Yeah.
center. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
been
it's
sold.
changed hands
It's
several times.
changed,
Yeah.
So I've worked with elders for a long time.
Mhm.
In
So,
different capacities.
so here you're the activities director.
Right.
And so activities, as you know from your many years of experience at working and understanding neurological development, etc., our brain develops primarily because of stimulation from the outside world. And so activities working with individuals who do have memory issues is still a very important thing. So you have this background in drama therapy too. Is that something that you use here in the program?
I don't call it therapy, but we do what we call imaginative play,
Mm-hmm.
and so my staff does that as well, and so that's an important part. We have other teachers who come and do things like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Katie, the hat lady, comes from the adult school. She has hats and tells stories,
Oh, wow.
and residents really like that. We have another woman who does an imagination workshop. We do imaginative play. We have hats and things that we dress up with. Visual things work very well for people with dementia, particularly people who have limited movement. They see someone, in a different hat and have like a response, so we might become different characters, or
Interesting.
it works really well with kids. So we will do that as an intergenerational program, because the kids can be a little bit more physically active and they might, embody something, and the residents can guess what they're doing.
So this is kids related to the residents, or?
Yes, kids are very important. So babies, we have all ages come to Chaparral House, and that's really important. So
Wow.
babies are really good for people with dementia. Like they can have, if it's somebody who feels. Somebody might have an automatic connection with a baby, and you don't have to facilitate much, and they just can automatically interact with somebody, even if, say, for language, like somebody didn't speak English, wasn't their first language. A lot of people revert back to their first language when their memory starts to go, and they're not making much sense in either language to anybody who's trying to communicate. But with like a baby, it's like, we had a resident and she could just talk baby talk and hold the baby, and she had been a teacher, and so that was just like a lot of times, sometimes you have to kind of facilitate and get people, but that was just like really easy. So
very interesting.
That was
So would it typically be someone who had a connection with children a lot too, like if they had children or were a teacher, something like that? Is that
we ask people when they come, do you like to be around kids or not? And so, we aren't, some people, oh yes, and some people, a lot of people say depends. So,
that makes sense, yeah.
Some people are more inclined towards it than others, but that, we here have kids. We have after school kids who come every week from over here. Nearby we have high school students. We cultivate long-term relationships with certain schools so that, we're continuing to have high school students. I've worked with one school for years. The entire time I've been here, and they followed me here from my other jobs. I've been working with those teachers for years, and they send us, freshmen in high school to have an experience with elders.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And it goes along with their class at school, so they,
What classes are those? Social studies or something, or?
That particular class is some kind of religious class, and I'm not sure how they service oriented. That particular school, service is very important, so the students do like 100 hours of volunteer service in the 4 years that they're there. So, we're teaching kids about how to be with people who have dementia, so that's part of it. But being playful is really good. Like that works really well for a lot of people, being playful, and I don't know why.
I was going to ask you what
I
you
don't
thought
know
was the
why,
reason
but
for that.
most people who have dementia know that it's imaginative. Like it isn't confusing to them. Every once in a while you'll have to say, oh, we're imagining this, or whatever the scene is. It's fascinating. It's like it's really fluid it's just really fluid. I don't know what that is, except that like here at Chaparral House we follow the resident story, like wherever they are, so it's which is much like in improvisational theater, yes and. So you're going with it, unless of course they're really upset or it's some kind of paranoid thought. You would just follow and ask them questions, and then go with the emotional quality of whatever is coming up, but not say, no, that's not true. Like, for instance, people will be looking for their parents, and that their parents are not alive anymore. It could be it's awkward, and like, I don't know how to answer this, and what do I say? Because if you say, oh, you're 85 years old, your parents are not here, that's going to be very upsetting for them to hear that kind of thing. So we would just ask them questions. Tell me about your father, tell me about your mother. Or if people want to go home, those are themes that come up. So tell me about your home. And that will often calm people down.
So this is like in a group setting, or this is one-on-one?
This is all the time. Like usually it happens more one-on-one if
Mhm.
somebody's upset and they're in the hallway or something, and they're looking, you know, or they're looking for their dog, or they're looking for their car, or, you know, somehow with dementia, like being rational with people, like, oh, I know that you still have a house and it's up in the hills, and he's like, and the resident's like, I'm gonna go there right now, and I'm like, I don't think you can get there by yourself, let me, you know, call your husband and see what we can, oh no, I'm gonna go. But if you start talking to her about, tell me about, I know you had a dog, tell me about your home, what if you had a garden, you know, like, just responding to that emotional memory, usually, not always, will dissipate that kind of, the kind of upset that will
Yeah.
happen sometimes.
The upset, the motivation of like, I'm gonna do this and have to disrupt that particular thought pattern or something, emotional
Yeah.
thought pattern, huh?
Yeah, so that's emotional, responding to emotional memory.
Mm.
So yeah, playfulness and music.
Music also.
Music.
Uh-huh.
Really good.
And in what way is music really helpful?
Well, most people like music. When I interview people, only about 1 in 50 people say I don't really care for music. And it's, people can remember words to songs, and they can remember songs, and they can't remember other things.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard that, like, if you have advanced dementia or something, I've heard that the part of the brain that responds to music is one of the last to go, so it stays operational. And I couldn't tell you the source, but somebody went to a workshop and told me that. And I think music really, like, even if a resident is really ill and they're in bed and they can listen to music, I just feel like their brain, you know, it's working their emotional being and it's working their brain, and they don't have to do much.
Mm-hmm.
So we have music programs every day here, so we have a lot of music and musicians who come in, both volunteer and paid entertainers. And we have people who come in and do drumming groups who are residents who have drums, so there's a whole nother set of stuff about the benefit of drumming.
That's interesting because of the rhythm aspect of it also.
Yeah, we could probably find something about that. And then recently we've been doing iPods with people where they listen with headphones to music, and there's a whole movie about that called Alive Inside that just came out.
Oh, mm-hmm.
And that's
That was over at the Marin Film Festival.
Yeah.
Did you? So you saw
I
it?
didn't see the
No,
whole thing, but I
heard about
saw a clip, and it was very moving about people who had advanced or dementia and they're in nursing home and they're just like practically non-responsive. And then in that case, they make personal playlists or talk to the family what music did you like, and then the people just came alive. And we've done that here. We've started to. We have a resident who's pretty much nonverbal, but was a musician. You know, she played the piano, you know, had music with her. So she listens to primarily classical. Well, I really think that, you know, the human, I think movement is really important, and I think music is really important. But I think, like, the human connection is what's really important. So it's like the relationship is really important, the consistency that, like, my staff and that we have with the residents on a daily basis, to be there for them when they're crying or upset, or that they can rely on that, or there's that's really what's most important to the work that we're doing, and I think would really help somebody's brain too, and I see that as the whole community. It's like a relationship might have a good connection with their nurse or the doctor that comes, or a lot of the physical therapists are really great, and for the short-term people, they get a real connection with those people, or the administrator, anybody, you know, all the people from the community that are coming in, and we have kids working in the garden, every day there's student groups who come here to train to be CNAs or nurses, and so there's like a flow of people coming through, and I think that is, that's really the biggest thing, And
So the heart-to-heart connection is really a key component of.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing a lot every day, and we do a real variety, and we do, mentally stimulating groups, and creative kinds of things, and music, and small groups, and we do mind and body, which is a sensory stimulation program
all right.
for people who are the most advanced with dementia or had a stroke, or maybe they're not speaking anymore. They can't really initiate an interaction with somebody. So in a small group, volunteers are doing things that stimulate the senses, like smelling things, touching things, listening to things, and so that's very good for those people. And we have massage too. We have a massage volunteer who comes. So for some residents, they like that the touch. But I think
So some don't like the touch, extra touch.
some
would you
people
say?
don't.
Yeah.
I asked you one. Are you interested in the massage service? Oh no, maybe later. No, I've never liked it. Oh yes, that would be very nice. Yes, so it just depends. And so I think, being around young people, having college students come and talk to people about what the hot topics are now, or people are interested in that. So just that human connection and enjoying is really important to me. Like, I really feel like, enjoying our jobs, enjoying the day, enjoying the activities that we're doing, and is really important too. So enjoying our coworkers, I have a really good staff right now, and enjoying working together, and making ice cream, or whatever we're doing in the day. Enjoying is really important, and I believe that even if you're in a nursing home and you're not feeling too good, you can enjoy, and that's possible. So that's really important to me, and I think that those two things help your brain too.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the not only helping the residents enjoy what's going on themselves, but also having this enjoyment among the staff.
Yes.
Is infectious in
yes.
many ways.
And we wear colorful, fun clothing.
Oh, all right.
My staff wears colorful, fun, clothing, and that is really important too. And I have my staff do that.
Oh, that's
and
great.
That really makes a big difference too. We're fortunate we don't have to wear a uniform, so everybody comes up with their own thing, but if you walk into the room and you're wearing something fun, or you've got a scarf, or it changes everything. Like it just is more open and relaxed and fun, and that right there, everybody does it in their own way. But and we do dress for occasions as well. So
like holiday things or Halloween, is that like
party? Yes.
Do you have to avoid scary clothes and stuff, or scary masks or anything, or no?
No, I mean, I don't know that you don't want to be really gory or some bloody thing might scare somebody. But I've been a witch a lot.
They like that.
Most people can tell. We have kids who come dressed in their costumes, or dressing up for the holiday. Yeah, or dressing for the occasions, and sometimes people might not say anything, but they feel that. And then someday one resident, I noticed, so-and-so always has a fun outfit on. And it's like, right there, that could change someone's emotion, just how they're feeling. I think it's really hard to separate the brain from just the emotional well-being of somebody. So it's like, that, that's fun, setting that tone of we're here to have fun, and be, we do all kinds of programs, but at least we're here to enjoy the day and have a good time.
Fantastic.
And so those moments, even if it's just a moment when somebody's laying in bed And even if people, some residents come here and they just fall right into the community programs like that. And we've had people who came from places that hardly had, didn't have the same kind of activities. And their family will say, there's like such a change in this person in 3 days.
Wow.
They're just like talking again, or they're happier, or some people, and then some people maybe they weren't group people, or they know they're going home, so it's like they might want to stay in their room or visit one-to-one, and they'll tell us that. Right. Or a lot of the short stay people, it just depends. But I think they feel everything anyway. We deliver them a calendar, they know what's going on.
Even the short
stay people. And then just whatever someone's kind of strength is, just going with that too, like being very spontaneous. Like we have a schedule, but if something comes to us, it's like just, I'm all about yes, so it's like someone calls, I'm like, yes, let's do that. Yeah. Let's figure out how to make that work. So it's like we had a resident who'd done a lot of theater. She was only here for a couple weeks, so she wanted, we said, oh, well, let's read a script. So she picked the play, it was Our Town, and we read the first act when she was here, and then she wasn't here anymore. We were like, that went so well, and the residents liked it so much, so we did it the next week.
Oh, fantastic.
It's like she read the big part, and then, so it's like building on any of those. We do personalized, care with an interdisciplinary team. So I'm meeting with we have care conferences later today. So that's with nursing and social service and diet and food is really important. So, we're looking at, if a resident likes to drink wine, if their doctor says it's okay, we have a resident now getting wine at dinner as long as the doctor says it's okay. So those kinds of things, or somebody likes Pete's coffee and they will go buy it. We might need to bill them for it, but they could have their sometimes it's those little things that could really make
the little things that
feel
are comfort,
happy, more personalized. We're small here, so people can bring their own belongings, or we have a resident, her cats live here.
Wow, interesting.
So, it's those, home like, it's those home-like things as best you can do, that are important. So,
Well, this has been great. I appreciate your taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to me.